you know they're just a cat, even if they do think they're a tiger. I gave them a program to my turkeys, and they came up to the fence and listened intently. I could tell they were listening. And after about 30 seconds, they turned and walked away. I'm going to ask you not to turn and walk away. Give me a little opportunity to warm up. When I got into daylilies, I thought, like most of you, that was a daylily. You remember that one? Yes. A friend of mine called me some time ago after I'd gotten into the newer stuff. James, I got a video I want to give you. And he brought it to me, and that's what it was. It stayed in a pot for a while. Then it went to the trash pile. And you know that one?
Oh,
Know anything about it?
invasive.
Plant it here, and it'll be over there. My wife's sister-in-law came to see us not long ago, and she said, you know, all my daylilies turned orange and yellow. She said, I have some high-priced ones. She said, I paid as much as $15 for some of them. And they were pretty. But then all I got now is orange and yellow. Said that they just hybridized and lost their color. I didn't even bother to argue with her. She's one of them kind of folks that thinks she's a tiger, but she's just a cat. Then I found that one, that double. Remember that double? Quanjo. It's another one that doesn't like to stay where you put it. In 1982, we were pastoring a church in Moultrie. And I don't know if any of you are pastors or not. If you are, Lord bless you. I had a church member that was one of those contrary ones. I know y'all, none of y'all know anything about contrary church members. She was contrary. But as pastor, I was obligated to go visit her. I thought, Lord, help me now. I'm just honest, David. I am what I am. I know I'm a cat. Not a tiger.
Turkey.
Turkey. And I was on the way to her house, and I saw this sign that said on the chain link fence, it said, daylilies for sale, $1 a fan. I didn't even know what a fan was, but I knew it was $1. And I visited that sister and finally got away from her, and I headed home, and I said, I need something to pick me up. So I stopped at this house, belonged to a lady named Miss Carter. And Miss Carter came out and said, can I help you? And I said, I see you sign that you got daylilies for sale. I want some daylilies. And I bought 5. Spent a whole $5. She came out of the house. She said, you want daylilies? I said, yes, ma'am. So she went back to her house and she came back with a butcher knife about that long. I didn't know what she was doing with a butcher knife. And I said, I want one of this. This was blooming. Any of you happen to know what that is? One of my favorites. If you come to the region this spring and come to our house, I hope it's blooming. That's Russian Rhapsody. 1973 version. Maybe it was hybridized by Munson. And I still like it and still grow it. But she took her knife and she went down next to that, what I now know is a clump, and cut off one fan. And shook all the dirt off of it, cut the top off and handed it to me. We did that 4 more times, and I gave her $5 and left with 5 daylilies and got home. And my wife blessed me out because I wasted $5. Now I don't tell her how much I paid for a daylily.
$5.
They're all $5. And then another one that we bought a little later on, when we moved from Moultrie, we moved to Glenwood, and there was a man in Dublin that I heard about that sold daylilies. By that time I was kind of hooked. His name was Bo Brown. Some of y'all might remember Mr. Bo Brown. Thundering Springs in Dublin, Georgia. And he had a sale going on. You could buy 12, a whole dozen for $35. And I bought a dozen. And this was one of them. We still grow it. It won Best Offscape in our show last year. That's Midnight Magic, done by Mr. John Kennebrew, and it was advertised in 1979. Mr. Kennebrew came up to our club to speak. We were sitting at the table eating supper. We'd always take our guests out to supper. I'm sorry, y'all call it dinner, don't you? That meal that you eat on Friday nights is what I'm talking about. I had all you can eat catfish. Mr. Kennebrew sat across the table from me. He and Jim Sadler were in a race to see who could eat the most catfish. And my wife she's a very talkative person, you'll find out. She looked at Mr. Kennebrew and she said, the best date you ever did. And that was the year you came out with something like Darla, Anita, and some of those others. Louise told him, she said, the best daily you ever did was Midnight Magic. I think it was selling for about $3 a fan then. But we still grow Midnight Magic, still love it, I'll continue to grow it. And then I bought my first expensive daily. This is along about 1986. And that is Royal Heritage, another Munson, 1978. I paid $15 for it. I thought she was going to divorce me over that one. That's not our garden. But isn't it pretty? All that landscape and all those, looked like something Claude Carpenter would do. And that's not ours either. That's Tim Bell. All that kind of stuff. You will find out about me. I do not have one artistic bone in my body. I draw straight lines when I tie a stick, put a stick here and a stick there and draw a string between them. So all I can get a straight line. And sometimes I get that pretty. And that's not mine either. Lord have mercy, these artistic folks just get on my nerves. We know who that is, don't we? That's the bishop.
Doesn't look like that anymore.
Well, it did when I was there. And that's not mine either. I don't know who came up with a daily bed and put a bed. I'd have never thought of such a thing. I just don't have that talent. That's the Fowlers in Moultrie, out from Moultrie. I would have thought about putting a critter in there like that. My companion plants are nutgrass. Started to say Florida Bethany, but I finally conquered Florida Bethany, thank the Lord. Now I've got hen bed. Anybody got any hen bed? You want some more? It's available. In order to do daylilies, you've got to be persistent. Nobody told that little boy he couldn't change that tire. David mentioned Hawkinsville. Let me tell you a little story about Hawkinsville. Our address is Hawkinsville. We live in Haynesville. Our post office box is in Clinchfield. Our telephone comes through Perry. My GPS thinks we live in Elko. But I do know how to get home. Can't tell anybody else how to get there, but I can get home. We do have a tire shop in Hawkinsville, and the Lord has blessed us with a tire shop. We do some work for the harness racing facility, thank you. And it's interesting. Some things are always happening. The tire shop allows me to buy daylilies. When I retired from teaching, I thought I was going to get a teacher's retirement plus my Social Security because I paid in Social Security for all those years. And I went to the Social Security office after they told me all the things I had to take, my birth certificate and all this kind of stuff. Any of y'all work for Social Security? I don't want to get on your toes. And I handed the lady my birth certificate. She said, "Oh, I don't need that." And I thought, well, why in the world did I have to go buy a birth certificate to prove that I was born that you don't want? But anyway, to make the long story short, she figured out, she said, "Oh, yes, you're going to get something like $2,000 a month in Social Security." I said, "Sign me up." I was going to draw my teacher's retirement. Sign me up. And she took all the information, put it into her little computer, and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry. You're only going to get $400 a month." I said, "What happened to the $2,000? She said, "It's called windfall." I've never heard of a windfall. But anyway, that's the story behind that. This is our garden. Yard. Or Barbara Kirby told me I had to write an article for Claude to go in the Daily Journal. I wrestled with that thing. I said, "What am I going to write?" I'd not long been to Claude's garden and saw his. See these others, all this landscape and everything, and I thought, I don't even have a garden. I just got a yard with daylilies in it. So I called it a yard, not quite a garden, not quite a yard. Does this thing bother y'all, this microphone thing? Okay. What if you just wear me, because I've got hearing aids and it picks up everything. So if y'all ask me a question, you've got to make sure I'm looking at you. We use raised beds, and I'll show you why in just a minute. We did have these beds. This is probably the way the beds look with grass in between, but I got tired of mowing the grass in between because the mower threw grass into the bed, and then I had more problems. So I decided, well, the best way to solve that, round it up. And by the way, I edge with Roundup. So when y'all come to my garden, our yard, you're not going to see this beautiful manicured stuff that some of y'all are used to. Because sometimes my hand wiggles when I'm trying to spray Roundup, and it's not exactly straight. But it doesn't bother me. It may bother somebody else. That's one of the beds. That, by the way, is usually, I was doing this program, the lady said, "What is that yellow in there?" I thought, "My Lord of mercy, how many yellow ones do I have?" So I remembered which it was and went back and looked at this tag and found out it's Space Coast Lemon Whiskers. And I don't remember what those are. I've been judging daylilies for years and still have to think about what a daylily is. Look at the sign if I can. That's just another shot of our garden. David told me I could take as long as I want, and I forgot to look to see what time I started. So if I get too long, y'all just let me know and I'll hush. Those are 2x8s. And I did have cross ties on both sides till fire ants invaded and they got into my gloves, and I wear brown jersey gloves, and you can't see a fire ant on brown jersey gloves. And they load you up, and when the last one gets on board, that one says, "Hit him." Y'all hit it one time. That's another shot of the house, and that bed is 64 feet long. No, that's not right. Yeah, that's right. And this one is saying there's a walkway going through there. I'm just giving you a little bit of a look. So I sprayed Roundup and replaced with cypress mulch, and I found out cypress mulch is $267 a bag. I'm doing things backwards. We have daylilies and daylilies and more daylilies. Aren't you glad we have Google? Googled all my symptoms and found out what I needed was just some more flowers. That's a ceiling bed. The Inman joiner bed is taken over this part, this side. Some of those have already gone to the dump. So I said, give them away. And I said, who wants this trash? You know, you can buy real daylilies for a little of nothing. Why would you want to grow some of that scraggly stuff there? That's one of my pet peeves. Hybridizer told me one time there was a particular daily that I had, and wanted to know how does it look for. I said, it hangs up all the time. Hybridizer said, well, all you gotta do is flick it. I said, flick it. She said, yeah, just take your fingers and flick it. I said, like I don't have anything to do but go around flicking daylilies. If it won't open at my house, it goes out. It's either a guest plant, a gift plant, or a trash plant. I don't care which. I'm not going to go around trying to pry it to get it to open. I told who that hybridizer was one time, and I got chastised for it, so I'm not going to tell you who that hybridizer was. It was a well-known hybridizer. Another one told me, said if they lean and fall, just stake them. No, I refuse. That's one of my seedlings, had a beautiful face, but it would always do that right there, and I had to pick it up every time I would walk by it. Second trip through there, I'd build that rascal up and throw it away. I don't care how pretty it is. If it's falling, I gotta. No, I don't even stake gladiolus. Tomatoes are good to get a basket. Now, I'm opinionated, y'all will find that out. And I'm not politically correct either. I'm sorry. If I don't like it, I don't like it. And I didn't like that when it's gone. But I found out something about icebergs. Y'all know anything about icebergs? Only 10% is above water. 90% is below. And I had, you know, school teachers are bad and preachers are worse about trying to make some sort of implication. How does this apply? How does this apply to daylilies? And I finally figured it out. This is all that people see is the top of the daylily. They don't see this part. Y'all know about the Titanic, don't you? It was built by professionals. All it ever did was sink. The ark was built by amateurs. Rest my case. I like soil. I did a presentation at our Middle Georgia Club back in January, and I got through with it. One of our members said, "You're nothing but a school teacher." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "You give us too much detail. You want to teach us something all the time." So I took out some teaching slides. But I like good soil. And I'm from the old school, I still smell it. Didn't y'all smell the soil besides me? I'm the only one, I figured so. But I pick it up and I smell it. Now, I don't know what I'm smelling, but I smell it. It's not like I'm going to eat it or something. I just want to know how it smells. And I want to see something else when I dig. I want to see earthworms. Now, some folks don't like earthworms. A lady came to our garden some time ago and brought a little 4-year-old boy, maybe 5-year-old boy. And she was wanting some daylilies, and I was digging them up, and he saw those earthworms. "Oh, Mama, he's got earthworms. We can go fishing. He's got earthworms. We can go fishing." I thought, not fun, you're not. But Louise got him a cup. And he had a half a cup full of earthworms. And I thought, you're taking all my earthworms away. I leave them. I was digging these plants yesterday, and I'd dig up a clump, and there was earthworms. I'd pick him up, walk all the way across the garden, put him in a new bed, give him a new home, go forth and multiply. Earthworms do several things. that a lot of folks don't think about. They're good for something besides fish bait. Any fishermen here? One out of this whole crowd? Two? Okay, that's a little better. But earthworms do a lot of things that we need to keep them happy. And I try to keep mine happy because they eat nematodes. When I saw that, I thought, wow, another good reason to have earthworms. Help water to flow, eat other pests, and they fertilize the soil. There was a lady had an advertisement for a bag of earthworm casings, about that tall. She wanted $15 a bag for it. And she said, hurry up, I'll soon be sold out. Not to me. I have my own earthworm do their thing. That's why I have raised beds. Our number 2 grandson, who is now 26, I think, came out of the house and the front of his pants, he came into the house and the front of his pants were red. Our daughter said, Dylan, what in the world is on your pants? He said, red concrete. That's what that junk is, red concrete. When it's wet, it is sticky. When it's dry, it is hard as a brick. So I have to do some things to it. That did, I took the tractor with the bucket and scooped out as far as I could make it scoop. And that's what it looked like when I got through with it. Now what I want to talk to you about is how I got to that point right there. That's below the surface. That's what a lot of folks don't see. Someone and I were talking earlier, and they said, daylilies is work. Duh. Daylilies are probably one of the most hardy plants that I know of. If you don't want it and didn't pay very much for it, you couldn't kill it with Roundup. I believe you could soak it in Roundup and it still live. But if it's $100 daylily, you better watch out. Especially if it's one you really want. But what I do is what I want to talk about next. That's what it looks like when I level it. That's the clay. That's the native soil. My trusty tiller, one of my prized possessions. I bought it in 1987. And I used it this past week, and it still runs and cracks up. Used it on the second pull. I said, how do you make it last that long? I said, I don't long it. If you want it tore up, long it. If you want to buy another one, long when you got it. Church member called me one day and he said, Brother Fennell, I need to borrow your tiller. And I said, what you need to borrow my tiller for? Oh, I need to till up my garden spot. I said, I tell you what, you be home next Saturday morning, I'll bring my tiller up and I'll till your garden spot. You're not going to loan me your tiller? No. Not even to a church member. I'm even loaning that to my son-in-law. He lives next door. I've had it too long. You take care of your stuff. And I love my tiller. It may die on me tomorrow, but I got the money out of it already. You figure out how many years I've had it. Since 1987. What is that? 32 years? Something like that. The electric start doesn't work any longer. That's long gone. I got tired of buying batteries for it, so I just let it alone. I could pull it up with that second pull on that rope. That's what that bed looked like when I finished with it, that bed that it's sitting in right there. I start with pine bark. I don't know what y'all use up here. I talked to somebody not long ago and they said, you learn to use what you can get. And I used pine bark. I bought 55 cubic yards on a truck. I brought it in and ran over a pipe, and broke the pipe of course. But anyway, dumped it out there, and I thought I had to catch me out, and did. Worked really good, so I bought a second load from them and put it in the garden and found out that the phosphorus on it was off the top of the chart of the soil test scale. I asked any county agents in here. I asked the county agent what to do about it. He said, "What you mean what to do about it? Don't put any more down." I said, "That's not what I'm asking. It's off the top. What do I do?" Well, he didn't have a clue. He's the same one that told me to send in my soil sample and have it marked as perennial flowers. Don't do it. That will not, I worked at the soils lab when I was in Georgia. They don't know a petunia from a tulip, much less a daylily. I told them daylilies one time, and they sent me back for bulbs. There's got to be a way around this thing. I told them last time, I said it's a monocot. The secretary said, "A what?" I knew I was in trouble then. I said, "It's corn." You know what corn is? Yes, sir. Is it irrigated or dry? I said, "It's irrigated." "How many bushels break?" I said, 300. You learn to adapt. So the soil sample came back, phosphorus off the top, potassium off the top. What you gonna do? Any of y'all have that problem? I found out what to do. When it's off the chart, it ties up the iron and the zinc. So you go to Amazon.com and order liquid iron. So that's what I do. One way to skin a cat, the other way the cat don't like it, is it? But that was when I got the second batch. And I called the people and told them, I said, the pH is something like 5.1. I said, "Y'all buffer it any?" "Oh, that's extra." I said, "Well, why didn't you tell me now?" So I had to put a line out. Anyway, am I getting too boring with this kind of stuff? No. I try not to be boring. I've listened to some boring folks, you know, the kind that put you to sleep. Will this ever end? That's what I add to my soil. Start with pine bark. And I try to use something like 55% pine bark and 45% compost, 10% sand. Except the last beds, I decided I wasn't going to build any more beds because I was just about to run out of space. Besides that, I got tired of my wife telling me I had enough beds, and my daughter's saying, "Well, Daddy, you're spending all the money." Like, "Yeah, you're looking for an inheritance." I told her not long ago, I said, "You can forget that inheritance mess because me and your mama are spending it. And if I want to buy a daylily, I'm buying a daylily."
Going to inherit some nice daylilies, though.
I won't be in the grave 30 minutes before she'll have her husband over there with the bulldozer pushing it all up. I told her, I said, "At least call my friends and ask them if they want the daylilies before you kill them all." But I start with pine bark. I already said that. Pine bark, and I know what I'm going to do. So recently, the last 2 beds I used, I didn't buy 55 cubic yards, and I didn't want to drive all the way to Cairo in my truck to get a batch. So I went to our Lowe's and bought what David told me to buy, and I forgot.
Topsoil.
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 When it says topsoil, you think it's got dirt in it. It doesn't. It's supposed to be pine bark, because that's what I was wanting. So that's what I'm using now. But I still put the supplements in there. Ironite. One reason is because I'm so high in phosphorus. And it's tied up. I have to put some lime. Somebody asked me, "How much lime do you put?" And I said, "What does the soil test call for?" You know what? bunch of nuts, don't know about daylilies, folks. I don't have acres of daylilies. I got beds of daylilies. So I had to go through the math that I learned in high school and learned how to divide. Divided by 43,560 square feet in an acre to get to how much it was. And it comes up something like 2.4 pounds. Why not 2.5? And I poured it into my bucket, and I couldn't tell if I had 2.5 or 3.5. So I had to rob the bedroom scales, the kitchen scales to get it right. I used mill organite. Do any of you happen to know Otis Houston? None of y'all know Otis Houston? Don't call him Otis. Don't call him Houston. He will tell you his name is Otis Houston. I sat by him on a tour, and I said, how do you fertilize your neighbors? He told me about mill organite. I said, how much you use? He said, how much you got? So I used mill organite depending on how much I got. My soil test said I needed high nitrogen and zero phosphorus potassium. I found this at Walmart of all places. Walmart drives me nuts. Well, that's the people that go there. But don't ask what any of y'all work for Walmart. Ask them where something is, they look at you like you're crazy. Boo. I said, it's fertilizer. It goes to plants. It comes in a bag. I stumbled around and found that they had about 15 or so bags closed out. And I said, you got any more of this? Oh, we got another pallet of it. And I said, well, I don't want 10 bags of it. And I paid $5 a bag for it, and it's usually $24.95. $24.99, something like that. $5 a bag, so I got 10 bags of it, brought it home, and got home, and I said, I bought some more. That price, that is a savings. That is a sale. My wife is crazy about sales. We met on a blind date. It took me 4 days to convince her to marry me. She wasn't going to ask her several times. She never answered. Finally, her sister said, he's about half off. She called me, she said, I'll take it. I got home and thought, $5 a bag, I would have bought more than that. So I went back. And I was afraid it was all gone. But they still had a half a pallet here, maybe a fourth of a pallet over there. And I said, how much is this fertilizer? They said, we're trying to get it out here, it's $2.50 a bag. I said, I want all of it. She said, you want all of it? I said, I want every bit you got in the storage room, I want it too. I was loading up, and here came a lady, and she said, I wanted some of that fertilizer. I said, too late. I'd already paid. I've tried to get my money back out of them people. You give them your money, you better be ready. You wait in line forever at ours anyhow. They kind of stingy trying to get it back. I use alfalfa pellets. Any of y'all use alfalfa pellets? Oh, I love them, don't you? Oh, I just love them. The worms love it too. I made the mistake and went to a Tractor Supply. That's where I get that from. I'm not advertising for these people now. That's where I go. And I told the boy one alfalfa pellets. He looted it up for me. I got home. The thing's that big around.
Cubes.
He'd given me cubes. I took it back in and I said, that's not what I told you. I want pellets. He said, well, that's alfalfa. You don't understand. That's not what I want. Well, that's all we got. I said, where's Joe? Joe's the manager. I said, Joe, I want alfalfa pellets that are about big around as a pencil, about that long. He said, oh, you want Sandy? I said, yeah, I want Sandy. So now I have a picture on my telephone, I go and I show the little boy the count of this. I said, this is what I want right here. One time I wasn't paying attention and I bought alfalfa with Timothy. You don't want that mess? I figured it'd sprout. I didn't know whether it would or not, but I didn't want it. And I use Epsom salts. The reason I use Epsom salts is because of magnesium, and I know a little bit about magnesium. Magnesium is there's a biologist here somewhere or another. Where'd that lady go? Two of them? Chlorophyll has an element in it called magnesium. Isn't that right? I thought I want to make sure I didn't want to be too bad off. I got a word you can pronounce for me in just a minute. So I figured it needs it, so I gave it to it. My soil test said it needed anyway. And then I water. If I could leave out anything, water would not be the thing I'd leave out. I know some folks wonder why their daylilies won't grow, and I'm thinking, when's the last time they got any water? One fellow said, I water mine when it rains. Boy, you'd have been in a mess last summer. Probably going to be in a mess this summer if you don't have water. And there's alfalfa. I look on the back of the bag now to make sure it's sun-cured alfalfa. Ruminant meat and bone meal free. Now, it may not make a nickel's worth of difference to anybody else, but it does to me. When I want alfalfa, I want alfalfa. I don't want anything else in it. I'm trying to think of the word that I want her to pronounce for me. Let's see if I got it wrote down. Yeah, here it is. I hope not even try to pronounce it since I found out she wrote it. I'm going to try to pronounce this. Alfalfa has a hormone in it called triacontanol. Is that even close?
That's close. You got it.
All right. I had to look at it and see it. It's a growth hormone. It makes the plant say, hey, let's start growing here. And it does. It's has a lot of other things in it besides that, but anyway, we'll move on. That bed is the way I start. See how this looks different from that? This is when I had the beds, had the walkways 4 feet apart. No, 5 feet. The walkways were 5 feet wide. And I needed some more beds. Really wouldn't let me have any more ground. So I said, well, what I'll do is I'll dig up the old beds and move them closer together. And I did, and added a whole new line at the end. But this is where I started, tilted it all in with the tractor, and then I came back and started adding more stuff to it. Tried those, still trying, not satisfied with it totally. See anything wrong with that bed? That end? I forgot to put the stop on this end. Had it filled up, planted it out, and I thought, what's wrong with this crazy thing? It just kept sliding open. So I had to dig it up and put another peg there. I draw a straight line with a string. And I use what's handy. Somebody said I was stingy. I said, no, I'm frugal. I can show you stingy. I soak every plant that comes to my house. There's a debate about that in the Daily Journal. Should you or shouldn't you soak? I thought, what works? And that's the way I do it. All this stuff I'm telling you, I'm not saying is the best way. I'm not even saying it's the right way. It's my way. And I use K-5. Very educated person told me, said, you're wasting your money. You know my answer to that, don't you? It's my money. K-5, I believe, helps combat rust. I don't have any scientific proof of that, but I think it does. I know it helps prevent rot and some of those other diseases. I know that. But I use it, and I also use Super Thrive. Any of y'all ever heard of Super Thrive? Go to Walmart or Lowe's and buy a little bitty bottle for $14. I found it on Amazon.com. Got my own card. They wanted to know if I wanted to be a Prime member, and I said, how much does it cost? And they told me, I said, no, I don't think any of that. I buy a gallon for something like $139. A whole lot cheaper than buying it, $14 a little bitty bottle. And I use Miracle Grow. No, I'm sorry. I use whatever fertilizer that is water soluble. It may or may not be Miracle Grow. Miracle Grow is usually expensive, and she won't let me buy anything unless it's generic. Even my medicine has to be generic. And I soak it in 5 gallons of water in that tub. Somebody said, how long you soak them? I said, well, it depends on how close I am to having the bed ready. It may get an hour, it may get 24 hours. It has gotten as much as 48 hours. I don't like that, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And I use, there's my ratio, in case you want the recipe. I don't have any secrets. You know why I don't have secrets? I forget what's a secret and what's not. You just tell the 8th graders, I'd ask them some off-the-wall question and say to them, how many of you want to know the answer to that? Oh, yeah, we want to know that. I said, I'll tell you tomorrow. Anticipation, you know. 30 cup of K-5, 5 gallons of water, 1 1/4 teaspoons of Super Thrive, and 5 tablespoons of water-soluble plants. And Winfred said y'all asked questions. He must have answered them all for you. David told me I was going to be he was a hard act for me to follow. And I thought, Winfred's always a hard act for me to follow. He can spend 30 minutes defining the word it. He teaches Sunday school. I went to a Sunday school class one time, and I thought, my God, I didn't know that word had so many different meanings to it. He's smart. He does a better job with his hybridizing than I do.
What do you use for weeds?
What I use for weeds, I use Basagram. No, that's Basagran, I think, for nutgrass. And I use Confront for broadleaves. Those are my 2 primary ones. Tried something this past year that we're still.
So pretty dormant.
Do what?
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm trying something this time that I've not tried before. Somebody told me that you could use 2,4-D. If I try it, we'll see. I'm going to tell you right up front, it doesn't look very promising. Winfred said, why'd you use it? I said, I thought it was a thing to do. Find something else, rotate it, you know. Be careful when people tell you what to use. I always tell folks, listen, I'm not telling you to go use this, but this is the way I do it. And I probably won't use that 2,4-D anymore. They said use exactly 2 ounces per gallon of water. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. I usually lay the beds out. I try to get a little artistic with that one. Instead of planting them in straight lines, this way and that way, I decided to do it diagonally. That was a pain. I try to keep up where my daylilies are because I can't remember where I planted them. And that was bed number 1. And that's bed number 1, row number 1 when it goes straight across. So this is actually A, B, C. And you do that all the way around, you run up with a B down there that you don't have an A for. And besides that, it takes up too blooming much space. You spread them out too far for the amount of space you got. I found out the more space you leave between, the more room you got for grass.
That's true.
I put mine close together and water my potatoes. There's the way I like it. That's right before mulch is put down. See my alfalfa petals? I mix it in the soil. And then, when I get everything planted, I put some on the top. One smart aleck told me, said, you need to put them 1 petal thick. I said, now who in the world is going to come along and make sure they're all 1 petal thick? I take them in my hand and I do this number. If that was 3 pellets thick, so what? But I try to make it even as possible. But you can see how scatterbrained I am sometimes. This is 5 feet or 4 feet. I got a stick that has all that on it. I just lay it down. I think it's 4 feet wide. No, it's 5 feet wide and 3-foot walkways.
James, you have a question over here.
So do you take your form boards out after you plant?
No.
Because these don't.
That's too much work. That's right. They didn't have it to begin with.
Oh, okay.
That bed that you're talking about is up here.
Where they're nice and thick.
I quit using those silly things because the boards are so blooming expensive. But I got my money tied up in those, so it's there. This did have cross ties by it, but that's when the fire ants and the rock got me, and I found out cross ties were going to cost me $9.50-something a piece, and I had to haul them. No. So I just mound the soil up. Did I answer your question? Sometimes I get to talking and forget whether I answered the question or not. That's right before mulch is put down. And what I use for mulch? Pine straw. That's our granddaughter. We've got 7 grandchildren, 6 boys and 1 girl.
I take you have a compost bin for all that.
Yeah, compost bin.
No, I wish I did, but I don't. That pine straw comes from the church down the road. They got a guy that can't stand to see pine straw on the ground, so he breaks it up and piles it up. So I hook up my trailer to my gator and I go down there and let Sarah and Louise load it up. And we've hauled, the Lord knows how many wagons and trailer loads. That was on the way back. They were so relaxed. I thought, well, let me take a picture of this excitement. My wife was really happy, doesn't she? And that's when our granddaughter loves to put out pine straw, especially she found out I was going to paint her. She really enjoys it then. That's the beds after they've been put pine straw to them. I used pine bark one time, and I wasn't paying attention, and I used the small pieces, and the daylilies started dying. What's going on here? I know I'm watering them. So So I went out and scratched down, and below the pine bark, it was just as dry as a bone. The pine bark had served as a thatched roof. I thought, well, now I'm in a mess, so I scratched out all the pine bark. And then I went back to pine straw. It's available and it's free. Have problems with pests. Tim Bell said you don't want to go to hell because it's going to be full of armadillos. We have armadillos, we also have deer. See where the deer run that willow? Aggravating things. Right next to a daylily bed, it's got expensive daylilies in it, of course. Somebody asked one time, how do you control the deer? I said, you don't. You got a son-in-law that goes hunting in Kentucky. Last time they went to Kentucky, they were gone for a week. He and two of our grandsons, they came back and said, how many deer y'all get? Oh, we didn't even get one. I said, you could have sat on my front porch and got a half a dozen. That's not why I'm going to Kentucky, I reckon. I don't know. See that weed right there? I bent over to get that weed and saw that thing right there. Eyeball to eyeball. I'll put a Friday in you. I don't care how brave you are. I didn't know he was there. Evidently he didn't know I was there because if I jumped, he jumped too. I like my praying mantis. Somebody asked, how do you take care of aphids? I don't worry about them. Some folks get all bent out of shape. I saw a fellow one time at an auction. He'd got a daylily and he took that thing and he started looking at it and saying, there ain't anything. I said, spray water on it and move on. I don't know what y'all do. Is that what y'all do? I use water and blue, what is that, this dish detergent?
Dawn.
Blue Dawn dish detergent. If I say something wrong, now you need to let me know because I'm just plumb country, I forget. Don't know much. But I love my critters. That silly thing thought he was a bud.
Jumped out as a branch.
Let's see what Scott Elliott would do with that. I love those things. My grandsons do too. They use them for earrings. Well, one day they had one on each ear. Rednecks, I'm sorry, that's what they are. That's our garden entrance, one of the entrances. I think it's what it looked last time y'all were there. That's what I really like to do. Go to somebody else's garden and sit in their swing and watch. I like to watch folks work, don't y'all? I brought everybody that daily. I know it's old, but just because things are old doesn't mean that they're useless. The older I get, the more I want folks to know old is okay. Jake Hess said getting old is not for sissies. He's right. I found out as I get older, everything starts tearing up and falling apart and falling off. And you haven't found that out yet? So there's a daily in this box. I brought 30. I don't know how many people's here. But after we get to, you can get your daily if you want it. I took a box to school one time, last day of school, post-plan. And I was speaking, and I said I brought some dailies. Several of the teachers had asked me about dailies, so I brought a box of dailies. I said, now on the way out, just collect your daily. Well, I was on a 12-month contract, so the next week I was walking the halls, and guess what I found scattered all over the room? daylilies I dug up. First day of pre-planting, I said, let me tell you folks one thing now. Don't ever expect another free daylily from me. You get one from me, you're going to pay. If you pay, you'll take care of it. Well, these are free. I'm not going to charge you. But if you want it, take it. If you don't want it, leave it. Won't hurt my feelings one bit. Lady Louise. My wife said, do we have any more left at the house? I said, good Lord, yeah. It multiplies like rats. I dug 4 clumps and got 30 plants. And another clump's probably got 30 in it by itself. Blooms like crazy, and it's a beautiful white. That's not a very good picture, but I didn't take it. Let me run through the seedlings right quick, like. This is what went from. Chad showed me seedlings. I said, wonderful. Those are my seedlings. I've got seedlings I did in 1984. Stands about this high, has one-way branching with 2 buds. It's consistent though. Winfred said, why in the world do you keep that? I said, well, I've had it for so long. I hope it's blooming when you all come to the regional. It's the ugliest thing you ever saw in your life. But it's mine. That's what I see.
It's a nice one.
Somebody said, you got a blue one? I said, oh yeah. Wonderful things can happen with Photoshop. That is still a dream. But I've decided if anybody ever comes up with a blue daylily, they won't have a name for it. I've never in my life seen so many daylilies with the word blue in them. They're as far from blue as left is to right. I have a very unusual one there. If y'all remember Ernest Yearwood?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ernest was my buddy. I was doing a program and I showed that slide and I said, Ernest, would you say that has distinction? He looked at it and said, that's the ugliest thing I ever saw in my life. I can't believe you talking about my daylily, Ernest. He said, it's ugly. I said, but my question was, is it distinctive? Now, I don't know how many daylily judges we got here. That is distinctive. It can't help it only has 2 petals and 2 sepals. But it's distinctive. That was one of my seedlings. It is no longer in the land of the living. Even had a strange coloration. That bloomed last year, and I thought, oh, I got a breakthrough here. It bloomed that one time. Next time it was this color. Somebody said, what'd you do to this? I don't know. I got to think, I know what happened. I was spraying and got to that bloom, to that bud. That's called a chemical change. That's not called a color breakthrough. I thought I had something like, when I first saw it, oh, I've got something like Nicole came up with. What was the name of that she came up with?
Undefinable.
Undefinable, because that is undefinable there. That's one of my seedlings. I kind of like it, but it probably will never get registered. That has Space Coast Technical Knockout in it. You see that dark, I like it, but it'll probably never be registered. It's too many like it. It's nothing really distinctive. This one, we'll see.
Has that got green imperial pigeon in it?
It does.
I thought it might.
Any of y'all grow green imperial pigeon?
Yeah.
I know 2 of you do. I love green imperial pigeon. It's one wait to put, you remember you that have the Facebook, daily Facebook page? Jamie Gossard put on there Elizabeth Seedling.
Here's to you, Bill Robinson.
The name of it is Here's to You, Bill Robinson. I can't wait to put Here's to You, Bill Robinson on Green and Bill Pigeon. I've been playing that cross ever since I saw it. That's another one that's got Green and Bill Pigeon in it. This one I like the veining and the way that the throat comes out. I like this raised mid-rib. I think they call that peach. Is that right? You spoke.
In this reverse, the midrib is not raised, it's like it's reversed, because it's concave.
Yeah. I think that one traces back to Anastasia. That's another little. I've got old daylilies, and I made the statement I'm about to, in my time up. I'll hurry.
Keep going.
I like old daylilies. I told you that earlier. I made the statement I'm about to make, and I got really chastised by a hybridizer. You gotta be careful with these hybridizers. Any hybridizers in here? Some of them can be downright mean. And I said, I believe one of the problems that we've got with daylilies is because of what we've done. So why is that? I said, we're using all this new stuff, and all we're doing is interbreeding everything. Need to go back and pick up some of the old genetics. You thought I'd have committed some kind of a high crime or treason. It was fixing to impeach me. And I said, what's wrong with using something like courting trouble? Courting trouble is, oh Lord, back in the 80s, I think. I still grow it, still use it, still hybridize with it. This is one of the kids. I had 156 seedlings from courting trouble that looked just like courting trouble. I planted them in a bed because I wanted to see them grow out. I planted them about this far apart. And let them grow for a year. I thought I was going to have a backhoe to come dig them up. The roots were so interwoven. Here's the reason I'm telling you that. Root strength determines plant strength. You can have poor plant habits because you have poor root habits. That's a nugget you can take home with you. That 95 cents will get you a cup of coffee, fast food. If you can find fast food in North Atlanta. That's another seedling that doesn't stand out too terribly much. Got a little bit of tooth there. The thing I like about it is it has 5-way branching, and that is not ministerially counted. As Winford says, that's ministerially speaking. I said, Winford, I'm not interested in ministerially speaking. I'm telling the truth. 5-way branching had 30 some odd buds on it last year. Probably won't ever get rich, but I still like it. That one's got Rose F. Kennedy in it. I like the eye on this one with this, I don't know what you call that. Distinction. It's distinction. I'll show you distinctive. I like the triangular look. Somebody asked me, what do you hybridize for? And I said, I hybridize for bud count and plant habit. Branching and bud count and plant habit. I'm a daily garden judge as well as exhibition. And I'm determined that too many plants are being registered that have poor plant habits, and it turns people off to daylilies. They see this beautiful face, gotta have it, gotta have it, gotta have it. Won't grow, won't grow, won't grow. It'll sit there and die on you. I like that little reverse. See that? Oh, I was going to tell you about, I like triangular eyes or throats. I like round, fat, and full. I like doubles. I have a weakness for doubles. And the folks at the auctions have found out I like doubles, so they all gang up on me. Aggravating. Any of y'all know Mike Curlin? I told him the other day, I said, you're just not right. And I couldn't tell how loud I was talking, and people heard me that they didn't intend to hear. He gangs up on me. This was another ceiling that'll probably get registered. It won best ceiling in our show last year, I think it was. I beat Tim Harrington. Tim Harrington had a ceiling in and mine beat his.
Whoa.
That's what I said. Oh, I told him, I said, I feel so good. Why? I said, because I beat you this evening. How you beat Tim Harrington? I don't know. The Lord was blessing me that day. And it showed that it had all kind of buds and branches and everything. That wasn't so-so. That's the one that was blooming in the garden, maybe when you and Doris were there.
About that big.
About that big. And had 35 buds and 6-way branching. I was bragging to Tim Harrington about it, and he said, is that all? I'm glad he's my friend. If I name that, I'm going to name it Bashful. Probably the name's already been taken. Because it doesn't stand up and look at you, just kind of holds its head like it's bashful. You would never guess what I used on that cross. Yeah, I see it now. I want to make sure. Elizabeth Salter, 2013, named the day after me, James Fennell. I like it. And I was hybridizing like crazy using this pollen. And it just so happened that Itsy Bitsy Spider was blooming. And I put that on Itsy Bitsy Spider, got that ugly thing. But it's distinctive. Thank you. I have no idea who it is. Except it's a season. A long time ago. I was visiting with a hybridizer one time and I was asking about his crosses, his heritage. And he said, oh, I don't keep up with it. I can look at it and tell what his parents were. I thought, boy, that's just another wrong question. Love that white eye. That's a shabby picture. I'm not a photographer. Sending some pictures to Claude to put in the journal so he could see what my garden looked like. He emailed me back and told me it didn't have a high enough resolution. I said, what the goodness is a resolution? I called Barbara and I said, Barbara, I don't know anything about this. What was you wanted? 1 megapixel? 1 megapixel resolution? I don't know what I got. Well, James, what are you taking the pictures with? I said, my telephone. She said, that could be the problem. I want to go to one of Claude's classes on photography. Because I know just enough about photography to make me dangerous. Somebody told me, said, what you need to do is get you a white umbrella to take pictures with. You know, imagine me trying to hold up a white umbrella and this telephone, and that's a little silly book, and keep everything focused. Then the wind blew. My hat went sailing. Yeah. I take a little white umbrella. I still got it, but I don't use it. There's where we were. That color change there, like breaking the pattern. Small double, love the doubles. Love the color, terrible form. That will probably be registered. It's another one that has high bud count and good branching. I did have a slide, but I took the slide out because I didn't know how much time I had, so I took the slide out. It shows branching, top branching, have four-way branching at the top, or five-way branching all at the top, as compared to one that has branches scattered up and down. That's what I'm looking for. Neat little thing. More like what Winford likes. Why that would even make to the PowerPoint, I don't know. I just want to show you ugly, I reckon. That won't make it ugly. But I showed you I do US. Even though I don't like to do US. This is what I told you. Told you a little bit about soil amendments, fertilization of water and planting, cleaning, treating, spacing, animals, environment, good and bad, landscape accessories and seedlings. Any questions? Yes?
When you mulch with your pine straw, do you change out the pine straw every year
No.
or just leave it down and pile more on?
I'll more, if there's any debris, I take the debris out, pine straw, I'll leave it. I'm gonna try to break a bed down every 3 years.
Now, what do you mean break the bed down?
Dig it up and divide. Because live clumps, this is the year that last fall was the year I was supposed to divide everything. But I was told I better not touch it until after this regional. So I've got some clumps that have 20 and 30 fans in it. The problem that causes is not only does it increase the likelihood of disease because they're so crowded, but water can't get down to them, down to the roots. So then you start seeing the inner part of it, inner clump. The donut hole, take it there because the water can't get down to the plants. It also decreases the skate production. Good question. Any others? Yes, ma'am.
What do you use for snails and slugs?
Somebody told me to use beer, and I said, I don't want any drunk beer, nor drunk slugs, nor snails. I usually just pick them off and throw them to the chickens. Watch chickens run with them. Don't really have that much problem, thank the Lord, with them. I don't know. I don't know if they don't like the pine straw. I don't know. What would you recommend?
Well, I would put out the beer saucers
Saucers for beer?
and collect them in that, because I'm not going to get outside at night with a flashlight.
Oh, I don't either. If I see him crawling, I get him and pick him up, take him to the chickens.
That, or I have not had the success with the crumbled eggshells.
I've heard crumbled eggshells and what is it, diatomaceous?
I don't know if that works out, but.
Said it gets a little skin. I don't know if it does or not. I don't have. We've been blessed. We don't have that much problem with them. Anything else? Maybe more worms. Maybe more worms. I don't know. Also, we've got a few chickens that roam, and I think they may be taking care of some of them. The bad thing about chickens is if you put your mulch there, they think they're supposed to build a nest. Or they want to scratch everything away. We've had to pen them up. They're on restriction right now. We've got about 45 or 50 head of layer hens, several different heavy breeds. And I let them out, and then I go back with what's the seeds? Sunflower seeds. And they'll come running in. They'll all go in. Well, I've got 3 or 4 that decide to be rebels. I have to chase them and say, y'all on restriction. Stay in there till you learn how to behave. Any other things? Yes, ma'am.
Do you spray for rust? If so, what do you use?
The big answer is no. The small answer is yes, I use K-Fite. And I also use nickel plus. But I don't use, what is there, Stego and Heritage, no, I don't use that stuff. I don't ship, so I don't have to follow the guidelines that some of you folks who ship do. But I use nickel plus and I use K-Fite. And it works. And I'm a firm believer, if it works, don't fix it. Anything else? No other questions? Did I completely bamboozle you? Thank you. If you come up with a question that you didn't ask and want to ask me, there's an email address. JAF@fennell.org. And Fennell has 2 N's, 2 E's, and 2 L's.
I didn't think about the 2 E's, but yes, sir.
And we have an auction whenever you get ready for it to do.
James, can I ask, since it's after, well, it's almost 11